Hey Jack, can you explain collateralize to me?
Yeah. So in real estate, and this is great. I love this. I'm gonna definitely clip this segment out and throw it on YouTube. Um, so in real estate and in business, when it comes to businesses too, but real estate is kind of the only thing that matters. Collateralized means that the loan is secured against a specific property or properties. But more than that. So it's not just like, oh, I wrote in the promissory note that I am collateralizing this debt against this property, because it's written in the promissory note that kind of allows you to record the note against the property, but it doesn't protect you beyond a mechanics lien. A mechanics lien does exactly that for like any contractor that does work on a house and doesn't get paid. They record a mechanics lien, and their work is now collateralized against that property. You know, the value of their work plus like some amount of interest. Most states have like a minimum, like an interest that a contractor is allowed to charge. Um, but it doesn't let them take the house. If they sued and it was worth enough, then a judge could like force the sale. You know, they could force them to sell the house, and then it's like you kind of get into like, okay, you have like a minimum sale price basically if there's enough equity there to do that. That doesn't necessarily mean it's successful, but you know, so when you're collateralizing, it's not just saying I pinky promise that your debt is secured against this house. Like, here's a piece of collateral. It's not just here you go. True collateral comes with a mortgage, and this document looks different in every state. Some states do security deeds, like in Georgia. Some states do deeds of trust. Some states do mortgage deeds. It's all the same thing. It's basically a document that is tied to a promissory note or tied to some other agreement, where if you violate the terms of that other agreement, that promissory note, then the lender is allowed to foreclose and take the property and sell it themselves. And so that's really what collateralized comes down to when it comes to real estate. It's not just like, oh, I have a property, you can write it in the promissory note as collateral. You can do that, and that's like, you know, kind of bare minimum for collateralizing. But really, when it comes to protecting a lender, or protecting a debt or something like that, it's not just the note. It's the note or the agreement in combination with the mortgage, which allows you to foreclose on the property. Every state's gonna have their own foreclosure rules and laws and stuff like that. And when it gets into that, you really just have to go like to a foreclosure attorney to figure that out, depending on like what state it's in. For example, some states have judicial foreclosure, some states have non-judicial. In Georgia, foreclosing takes about 60 days. It's really quick, unless you're like doing like owner-occupant type loans, like owner-occupied, like primary residence type mortgages. That's why you need a license for those, because it's like to broker those, it's a whole different set of rules than it is for investor loans. But if Joe lended me money, which has happened before, if he lended me money on a property in Georgia and I failed to pay the money back in the correct amount of time, and I violated the agreement, and I got hit by a truck and all of these things, he has the right, not necessarily you're not obligated to foreclose, but you have the right, and you don't waive that right ever. But you have the right to go and say, hey, I'm foreclosing on this property. You get in touch with the foreclosure attorney. Foreclosure attorney's like, okay, clock starts now. You know, cure or quit notice gets sent out, stuff like that, and then 60 days later, you can either send it to auction or hold the property, I guess. I'm not an attorney, and I don't know what that looks like, and I don't plan to ever have to find out. But if I got hit by a truck, somebody else would have to find out to get my properties. That's what collateralized is.
Cool.